Hello and welcome to Odds on Europa League last 16 round first leg. Great games we have ahead. Real Sociedad, Man United, for instance, Roma, Athletic, and we have Leo Bachanian and Alain Valnegri. Hello, guys. To analyze and to give you some tips about these games on Thursday. Very interesting this season, the Europa League with the new format, so let's not waste any time. If you enjoy our videos, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. And we have 4 early kickoffs, 6:45, Central European time. First game we are going to analyze is AZ Tottenham. For this game and for this time and for this tie, Tottenham are really favorites even for the game. Look at these odds, 2.18. The Spurs that little by little are recovering players from injuries. They are having a tough season, but apart from the defeat against City 1 week ago, they are little by little improving. AZ 6th in the Netherlands. I guess no one expect them to be here and to beat Galatasaray. Was a surprise. Leo, should we trust the odds and trust this Tottenham? Although it's so difficult to trust Tottenham in general. It's ups and downs the whole season.
Yes, ups and downs whole season, but of course the last 3-4 months, Edu, most of it has been down to injuries, and now they are recovering many of their players because 𝗀𝗵𝗄𝐿 in goal is back, and actually he's been man of the match against Manchester United, against Manchester City since return. And James Maddison is fully fit once again, and he's footballing leading of this team. They have Wilson Odobert as well back. They have Brennan Johnson back, who is very important on the right wing for Postecoglou, and as soon as he came back, he scored twice against 𝗵𝐸 Town on that 4-1 away win for Spurs. These two sides, they played each other back in October, at the end of October, but there's not much that are going to be taken from that game. Actually, the one who scored, Richarlison, is not even playing in this tie because he's injured now, the Brazilian. Although 9 of the players that started, for example, for AZ Alkmaar that night in October in North London, 9 of them, they play from the start against Istanbul in that first leg that finished with a 4-1 surprising win for AZ. Since that 2-2 in Istanbul, in the return leg, they played 3 matches and won 1. You said that, Edu, they are 6th in the Eredivisie, although within 3 points of European League qualification in their domestic league. For me, Tottenham clear favorites here for this tie and for this leg too. I agree in that with the bookies. They have scored in all 4 of their away games, and in 3 of 4 of their away games they scored 2. They scored 2 or more goals. So for me, Tottenham to win this one, 2.1.
AZ, Alain, is a very strong home team in Europe. Not only the 4-1 against Galatasaray, but 4 wins and 1 draw, for instance, beating Roma or Fenerbahçe as well.
Yes. It's in AFA's stadium. It's a bad. Give his best version. Now Tottenham is one of the favorites of the competition for the bookmaker. How is true? It will be a good test. It will be a good test to see Tottenham playing in Netherlands. Since the beginning of December, they lose only 1 game. It was against Sparta Rotterdam. It was an accident because they dominated this game. AZ. For that reason, I think Tottenham will be suffer in Holland, and I choose AZ with the handicap 0.75 odds 1.60.
Okay, it's on handicap plus 0.75. Yeah. So if they don't lose by 2 goal margins, you win your bet because they are clearly the underdog. And as Leo mentioned, the bookies are placing Tottenham as the favorites to win the competition. Is 5.5, surprisingly, with the titles that Tottenham are winning in the recent years. Well, in Bucharest, Steaua, Lyon, Steaua, we didn't expect them also to be in this round of the Europa League. One of the surprises, beat PAOK in both games in the previous knockout round. In the playoffs, also good results playing at home. Even Man United struggle. And Lyon, Alain, they are the favorites. They are sixth in France. We saw 𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐶 scoring a brace at the weekend. Would you trust Lyon? Do you also think they are the favorites for this game and for the tie?
Trust Lyon to winning is difficult, is dangerous with Fonseca, because he's a team right now really offensive. He's a team unbalanced. And is pleasant to see the match of Lyon, but in the tactical analysis, they concede a lot, especially transition. We know the model of play with Fonseca in the bench, and the team attack with 6-7 players, and after in counter attack they suffer. And FCSB is a counter-attack team. They feel really comfortable. We saw that since the beginning of the competition. They suffer only one game in this Europa League. It was against Manchester United at home, and maybe the pressure was the key for them, because it was a big event in Romania to Manchester came to the city. Since Fonseca signed in Lyon, I follow the market of both teams to score, because since he sits in the bench, in the 90% of the case, the game finished with both teams to score. And I choose both teams to score for FCSB Lyon, odds 1.70.
Really good odds to back somehow Steaua Bucharest, Leo, because it's 4.0 actually to win. The odds are very high.
I believe that Steaua Edu could be one of the surprising teams in the quarterfinal. I'm not saying that they are favorites, not at all, but this is a team that finished 3 places behind direct qualification. They won in Salonika with authority and coming from behind. Yes, they were held by PAOK going down to 10 men in that first leg in the playoff. But in the end, it was their first knockout win in Europe since 2013. First time in the last 20 years, I think, that they have won both legs of European knockout tie as well. And they're a good team defensively. 10 goals conceded in 10 matches with 5 clean sheets. They're a team that on average has the ball 40% of the time, and that is not going to change against Lyon. They're going to give the initiative to the French side. A draw in this first leg in Romania for Steaua will be a very good result, and I don't think that for Lyon is going to be very different if it ends up in a draw. I think they're going to see it as well with good eyes. They rested a few players on the weekend, like Nemanja Matic, and few others. First time in the starting 11 as well for Thiago Almada in Lyon. Hopefully, Alain knows more, but I believe that Almada could do good things in Lyon for the rest of the season. My take here, as I said, I think because Steaua is very good team defensively, and because none of them, either Steaua or Lyon, are going to see a draw with very bad eyes. First half double chance, Steaua 1.58.
Fenerbahçe Rangers is the next one. Great opportunity for Fenerbahçe to be in the quarterfinals of the European competitions. They are still kind of alive in the Turkish league, chasing Galatasaray despite that goalless draw. And they got against Galatasaray in the Europa League. They beat Anderlecht with El-Nesyri scoring in both games. And at home, they only lost to Athletic. The bookies placed them as favorites. We know how Scottish teams suffer away from home, Leo, and these Rangers, they are struggling a lot in the domestic competition. They even lost to Motherwell at the weekend.
Yes, I mean, this should have been a very good tie, but these Rangers that gave away another title to Celtic, that changed manager, now they have interim manager with Barry Ferguson, as you said, losing as well, and nothing has changed. They lost 2-1 against Motherwell on the weekend, 3 defeats in the last 5, and on the other side they have Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahçe that is undefeated since mid-December. At the same time, we could argue that Rangers in the last few years, they have saved their best for Europe. History with Turkish side doesn't help them too much. They lost every single game they played in Istanbul. Rangers, although they have won, yes, against Turkish sides like Bursaspor or Galatasaray in the past, but that has been at home. They're going to see playing for Fenerbahçe someone like Filip Kostic, one of the Eintracht Frankfurt players that won the Europa League against Rangers in 2022. Fenerbahçe, on their playoff tie with Anderlecht, they were in control, absolutely in control on both games, and that's why, and they could put the difference on the pitch. Of course, the most difficult prospect for Rangers is how to stop Fenerbahçe's attacking capability with Kostic, Tadic, and Nesiri, 𝐜𝐭𝐿. Maybe that could be too much for the Scottish side. The odds on X1 being 1.65 are not bad, but my take is Fenerbahçe to win plus goals over 1.5, odds of 1.98.
Alain, should we trust this Fenerbahçe?
Yes, it's the best moment of the season. Is now 4 months since the defeat against Athletic Bilbao. The team don't lose, and the keys Mourinho found is 11 starts, and now he attack with Tadic plus 2 striker, and that one have a lot of powder for the wings. We have Kostic playing a really high level and made the difference. And it's one of the most offensive team of Jose Mourinho of the last decade. And now we must to understand what is more important for Fenerbahçe. Super League, where Galatasaray is losing a lot of points in the last journey, and Fenerbahçe recovered the distance, and right now is only 4 points. The schedule is not so easy for Galatasaray, and Galatasaray is sick. In this moment, the level is not so good, and Fenerbahçe is flying. We see the team score 2-3 goals per game. And warning with the Rangers, because it's a really strange statistic. In the last 6 games, Rangers won 3 games away and lose 3 games in the Ibrox Park. And normally in Ibrox Park is a team really strong. In spite of that, I think Fenerbahçe arrive better, and Fenerbahçe will win this game. I choose Fenerbahçe winning, odds 1.67.
And the last game at the same time is Real Sociedad Man United, and the bookies place Real Sociedad as favorites, although the Basque team are suffering a lot. In La Liga, they were destroyed by Barcelona down to 10 men very quickly, also lost to Real Madrid at home in the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey first leg, but I guess, Alain, they take in consideration that Man United is even worse. Their home, the domestic form is dreadful, also out of the FA Cup. I'm not sure if Ruben Amorim can continue next season with this drama. They only beat recently Ipswich and suffering a lot.
Yes, it should be a nightmare. Choose the odds for Manchester United for the bookies is one of the worst team to choose the odds. Now, Real Sociedad don't do a really good season. Respect to the squad, the quality. We must to pretend more about this squad, because in Liga, stay in the 9th position don't respect the ambition from the beginning of the season, because this season was the team we wait another step forward after the brilliant Champions League last season. We wait more about this team, and right now, what is the objective of what is the goal of Real Sociedad in this final part of the season? Copa del Rey, really difficult with the with the first leg against Real Madrid. In Liga, maybe there we can catch a spot in Europa League or in Conference League. The fast way is Europa League to make a brilliant season, and the final is in Bilbao for Real Sociedad is special that, and they have strong motivation in that direction. Manchester United don't have identity. It's not changed. It changed nothing. Amorim, I think every day he said why I leave Lisbona to coming here, because in Lisbona I was writing the history, and in Manchester United he don't found solution. He don't found solution. He changed a lot of time system. We have a lot of chaos, confusion. For that reason, I think Real Sociedad is really favorite, and I choose Real Sociedad winning odds 2.15.
Well, here, Leo, is who should you trust less, I would say, because both teams are really poor. They are only happy in Europe, and even Real Sociedad record in Europe, yes, they beat 𝗵𝗏𝗏, but in the knockout stages, they are very poor historically.
Yeah, but look, Edu, it's true that this season is not good for Real Sociedad. They are even out of Conference League spots at the moment in La Liga. They are 8th in the domestic league. But let's not forget that this team 2 years ago, they were top of the group in Europa League. In Europa League season in which they shared the group with Manchester United. Last season they were top of their group above Inter in Champions League. So of course, when you compare to this season, it's a bit of a disappointment. But actually those last 2 years, it should serve as a perspective for Real Sociedad, because it's not a team that they was used to this type of campaigns in Europe. And look at the last few weeks for them. They played Real Madrid, Barcelona, and now it's coming Manchester United, then it's Sevilla. These are the type of game which not so long ago Real Sociedad was not used to, especially again playing in Europe at this level. On the weekend, yes, they haven't even smelled the ball against Barcelona, but that's the thing. One thing is to play against Barca, and completely different to play against this Manchester United. I'm just a little bit worried about the physicality for Real Sociedad, because they played their 42nd match of the season against Barcelona, and never before in their history Real Sociedad played so many games at this stage of a campaign. But they're going to have an 𝐬𝐭𝐴 back, they're going to have 𝗪𝗪𝗪 back. They couldn't play on the weekend. And this Manchester United is a drama. It's a drama outside of the pitch, where they have owners who doesn't have any money, and the only thing they know is how to cut budgets here and there. It's a drama inside of the pitch. At least with that win against 𝗲𝗏𝗏, Manchester United now know that they're not going to be fighting for relegation. Out of the FA Cup on the weekend, between 𝗲𝗏𝗏 and Holland, they have scored 12 goals in 75 games, both combined this season. They're not going to even have as well in attack for this tied 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, the youngster who played the last 3 games or played minutes in the last 3 games for Manchester United, because he wasn't registered for this Europa League. When they play these two sides 2 years ago, both games finished 1-0. 1-0 in Old Trafford for Real Sociedad, 1-0 in Anoeta for Manchester United. So I'm taking that route again. I don't expect many goals here. That's why my take here is goals under 2.5, odds of 1.73.
Let's go to the next game. We have Ajax Eintracht Frankfurt. This is the opposite. Ajax really in form, top of the Eredivisie, 8 points ahead of PSV. So probably Fayol is taking the title home in the Europa League. They suffer a lot to beat Saint-Gilloise in the extra time after losing at home. And actually, Leo, the European campaign is not that good. 4 defeats already in this Europa League. For Eintracht, it's a team that is struggling after losing Marmoush in the winter transfer window, thrashed by Leverkusen and Bayern recently.
Yes, and but what the Germans is still aside, Edu, that won this trophy. They had 5 players that won this trophy in 2022. They are still third, Eintracht in the Bundesliga. They're gonna have a huge support in Amsterdam against Ajax. It's just 3.5 hours by train from Frankfurt to to Amsterdam. I'm gonna expect goals in this one. Of course, to have missed the departure of Marmoush is been a massive blow for Eintracht. But this Ajax this season in Europe, I think they're a bit at a crossroads, because Ajax is thinking maybe something similar to what Alain was saying about Fenerbahçe and Europe and the domestic league, thinking about the Champions League next season, because Ajax have won 10 of the last 12 matches in the Eredivisie. They won the last 9 consecutively. The last time they lost in the league, that was at the beginning of December. They are top of the league, 7 points gap with PSV in second. So they might be thinking, should we be thinking about the Europa League when the most possible access to Champions League football we have is the domestic league if we win the Eredivisie, and I think we can gonna be seeing that kind of thinking maybe probably at some point in this time with Eintracht. They have a much better defensive record than Eintracht, anyway, Ajax. Only 18 goals conceded this season in the Eredivisie. PSV, for example, have conceded 11 goals more than Ajax so far. But of course, then when you compare the level of the opposition, it's different for Eintracht in the Bundesliga than for Ajax in the Eredivisie, because Eintracht is a team that have scored 50 goals this season and have conceded 37 times in the Bundesliga, and 8 of those 37 goals have been in the last 2 games, 4 against Bayern Munich and 4 last weekend to lose 4-1 against Bayer Leverkusen. Anyway, still on Champions League spots in the Bundesliga. As I said, I am expecting goals in this one. Both teams to score yes is 1.55, but I'm hitting for the goals market, which is a slightly higher odds. Goals over, in this case, goals over 2.5, 1.67.
I believe, Alain, you are a big fan of this Ajax. Would you trust them also in Europe?
Yes, at the moment, Farioli is doing a brilliant job, because the goal at the beginning of the season was to winning the Eredivisie. He started with a lot of problem, but in the last 3 months, he recovered the leadership in Eredivisie. Maybe in the second leg against Union Saint-Gilloise, there will be be confident and lose that risk to go out after a 2-0 in the first leg. In the last games, we saw an Ajax at home, especially in Eredivisie, play a really good football. They won easily against Feyenoord, always a special game in Holland. And this Eintracht, February was really difficult for Eintracht. And yes, the Marmoush leaving have an influence, but we understand some important things. This season, Eintracht suffered when they played against the biggest team in Bundesliga and in Europe. And in my opinion, Ajax is favorites. The odds are really generous for Ajax victory, and I choose Ajax victory. Is a risk because Eintracht can be competitive in Amsterdam, but I choose Ajax winning, odds 2.56.
One of the great ties, I think, of these quarterfinals is my favorite one, is Roma Athletic, because Roma, they are specialists in European competitions. They are so good when they are playing at home at the Olympiakos, and they are in the best moment of the season, as we saw, beating Como, coming back from behind, even 𝗏𝗵𝗏 scoring. But we have also Athletic. The final is going to be played in Bilbao. They are having a great season, 4th in La Liga, but now Sancet is injured, Alain, and we saw this game already in the group stages at the beginning of the season was 1-1. And it's tough to win at the Olympico. If you're an Athletic fan, if you want to be optimistic, at least the few teams that were able to beat Roma at home in Europa League were, for instance, Villarreal or Betis recently.
Yes, but Roma is playing really well. Ranieri found stability, found a model of play, found his player. in collective perspective, is a team really difficult to move. Individual analysis, we saw Dybala playing with amazing continuity. We don't saw Dybala in the last season play with that continuity. Soulé is finally back and will be give his fantasy and his quality. 𝗏𝗏𝗿𝗀 is unluck in front of the goal. The defense is really strong. Roma is, with Ranieri since the beginning of the season, Roma probably should be in the top in Serie A. The squad is have a lot of quality and is deep. Now Athletic is a special season. The final is in Bilbao. They are doing one of the best season of the last decade. Valverde is a magician. When he take Athletic, is always go over the objective of the season, but is not the good news to see both team playing now, because that one is a potential semi-final. In spite of that, it's difficult for me to choose 1x2 for this game. I choose both teams to score. Odds 1.92.
Indeed, it looks more than a semi-final than a last 16 game, Leo, but well, it is what it is. Who do you place as favorite here?
I mean, it's a tough one, but I don't see the difference as the bookies. I mean, to be honest, to see X1 at 2.28, X2 at 3.4, I don't think it's realistic. I think the parity is much more than that. Absolutely, this could be I mean, this tie could have been a final, even more than a semi-final, than Alain said. But we have it now. Roma enjoying a fantastic moment. No defeats for them since the 15th of December in Serie A. Athletic Bilbao, yeah, it's true, they lost 1-0 on the weekend with Atletico Madrid, and now the gap wiping a little bit more with the top of La Liga. But they're having again an amazing season. I want to see how the pressure, if the pressure plays any role in Athletic Bilbao, knowing that the final, of course, is going to be in San Mamés, and how they manage that pressure if they are behind in this tie, especially for the return leg. Ranieri is allowing himself to field more attacking players to build societies with Dybala, and especially at home, especially at the Olympico, when they are very, very, very strong. For example, on Sunday he played 𝗀𝐿𝐴, usually a right wing back, as a right center back in a 3-4-2-1, playing Matías Soulé, which I agree with Alain is enjoying as well, a very good moment. So Soulé playing right wing back, Angelino on the left, being the left wing back. Angelino also scoring goals lately, and one very crucial in this campaign in Europa League against Eintracht the Frankfurt. I'm gonna expect goals here as well. I will be shaking hands with Alain, because my suggestion here is also both teams to score, Edu, at 1.92.
Okay, less glamour in Norway. Bodo Glimt, Olympiakos, but Bodo are very dangerous, especially when they are playing at home. What a game we saw against Twente, the game of the games in the playoff. In extra time, we saw 3 goals. They were eliminated, then qualified, and then going to extra time. Crazy, and they were able already to beat Besiktas or Porto, for instance, in this Europa League. But Olympiakos, Leo, are getting experts in Europe. It looks like this, at least.
Yes, and look, Olympiakos undefeated in all competitions since October as well, Edu. They won 4 of the last 5 in the league. On the weekend, they took a 1-0 away with ACCA to widen the gap at the top 5 points in the Greek Super League. They had even trashed ACCA 6-0 the day before in the Greek Cup. I mean, could be Bodo the team that make them taste defeat after a long time? Yes, they can, but this Olympiakos has the best defense in the competition. 6 clean sheets so far for them in 8 matches. They conceded just 3 goals. In the league, they conceded 16 times only as well in 25 matches. But then Bodo, look, if there is a team which I will choose to watch and see, taking apart the big teams in this Europa League, that will be Bodo. And I hope one day I will be able to travel to almost to the Arctic to see them play. What happens against Twente was just amazing. They were out in the 91st minute. In the 92nd minute, they leveled the tie. In the 94th minute, they were through to the last 16. And in the 96th minute, they allowed Twente to take the time to take the match to extra time. It's amazing because Bodo hasn't even restarted yet their domestic campaign. They are audacious team, or they like to play on an attacking way. 20 goals scored, 15 goals conceded tells you of a team that is plays a little bit open most of the time, although we have to see if that happens in that first leg against Olympiakos. But I said I'm a bit surprised with the odds on Olympiakos, taking into account their form and the European form as well. That's why my take here is double chance Olympiakos, good odds, 1.73.
I guess Olympiakos would like to play ACCA in this tie, Alain. Leo mentioned the 1-0 in the league, also 6-0 in the cup, and usually we see low scoring games in Olympiakos, at least in Europe.
Yes, it's a concrete team. It's a really collective. It's a block really difficult to move. The question is how can be affect 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐵 will be off for that game, because 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐵 is the super striker of Olympiakos, and probably there must to play with 𝗀𝐻'𝐿𝐴. 𝗀𝐻'𝐿𝐴 is a youngster, big talent, 70 years old, and in that type of game maybe he can miss experience a little. But the collective, I think Mendilibar are made a brilliant job, because working in Olympiakos is difficult. Stay more than 12 months in the bench in Olympiakos is hard. And Mendilibar won a Conference League last season, and he was the first trophy for a Greek team. And they have continuity. February was difficult, was a good test for Olympiakos. In the Greek Cup against Panathinaikos, against ACCA, both derby, and they made brilliant game, brilliant results. Last Sunday they won against ACCA, was the second team in the table, and they increased to 5 points his leadership in the first division in Greece, and is a good moment for Olympiakos. Bodo Glimt, the biggest question is they are not playing official competition. Maybe against Twente is a team play, is a team open. We saw a lot of goals in both games against a team like Olympiakos, who is more able to close the game and play physically. There will be suffer. It will be an opposition style with a positional attack system for Bodo Glimt against a direct football with Olympiakos. And I am with Leo, because I think the odds are really generous. Only maybe the weather can affect Olympiakos, but in the value of the team, in collective, individual perspective, I think Olympiakos have something more. I choose the double opportunity, X2 odds 1.75.
Well, you agree in Roma Athletic, you agree in Bodo Glimt Olympiakos. Let's see if you agree in Victoria Plzen Lazio. We have Lazio as really favorites here, 1.95. What a season for the Celeste. Great odds to back Lazio. Pedro is still around when some other players would go to Saudi Arabia. Remember, World Cup champion in 2010, still scoring important goals as the one he scored in San Siro to beat Milan. In Europe, Alain, only one defeat in Braga, and they were the best team in the group stages. Victoria Pilsen, strong at home, where they beat Fenerbahçe, and only Man United won there.
Yes, it will be a game with less rhythm. Really physically, really tactically, Pilsen, we know how they feel comfortable in the field. A lot of long ball, a lot of aerial duel. I think it is a good test for Lazio. It's a good test against a team playing that type of football. Because when Lazio this season must to take the initiative, must to attack with positional attack, maybe we miss something. But Lazio is a running team. And against Plzen, there will be found space behind the line, defensive line of the Czech team. And Plzen at home is difficult to move. Since the Man United, yes, won, but except Man United, only Slavia Praga won. 2 defeat only at home. Lazio was a big surprise to be the best team in Europa League. Big surprise in Serie A for the no market Lotito doing in last summer. And right now Lazio is favorite, but in my opinion Lazio will be suffer, and I choose a double opportunity 1x odds 1.99.
Lazio suffering for Alain. It would be a surprise. Leo, your take?
It will be a surprise, I believe. But at the same time, Lazio this season, even though they're doing very well in Serie A, in the 5th place, just 2 points behind 𝗀𝗵, competing for those Champions League spots, they drew away against Venezia 0-0 a few weeks ago. They lost against Parma. I'm talking about relegation size this season. But of course, what happened on the weekend for sure gave them a big lift, because it was massive for them to win away in San Siro against this trouble side as it is Milan at the moment. Pedro, the talisman, the lucky man, they have 3 goals this Europa League, 6 goals scored in Serie A. He's someone who can tell a thing or two to his teammates when it comes to winning things in football. Of the 10 games that Victoria Pilsen has played in the Europa League, just 3 have been goals under 2.5 in the league stage, and 6 of their 8 matches have been both teams to score. So maybe not a goal feast, but we could expect goals in this first leg between Victoria Pilsen and Lazio. Yes, the odds on Lazio are good, but how Victoria Pilsen has been playing at home against big teams this season in Europa League has been very good, and Lazio should pay attention to that. This said, anyway, my take here is Lazio first team to score, odds of 1.65.
Well, they had a tough schedule in this Europa League with Ajax, Real Sociedad or Porto, for instance. Lazio, and they were able to beat them all. So they are doing a great season. I think we all thought it was going to be a long one for them, but still, we are in March and they are still fighting to qualify for the Champions League in Italy and alive in the Europa League. So guys, this is it for the games we have on Thursday. Of course, you can post your tips in 𝗀𝗵 and participate in our tipster competitions, or create your own tipster competition thanks to Rivals. As always, to finish the video, we want to give you the best bets according to our tipsters. For Leo, the best bet is
Fenerbahçe Rangers first half goals over 0.5, odds of 1.3.
At least 1 goal in the first half. Alain Valnegri.
Olympiakos with handicap plus 0.75, odds 1.56.
Not to lose in Norway. Alain, your ACCA?
Fenerbahçe winning. AZ Alkmaar handicap plus 0.75, and Roma Athletic both team to score for a total 5.13.
Leo?
Mine is Tottenham to win, goals over 2.5 in Ajax Eintracht Frankfurt, Olympiakos double chance. This 3 leaves me with an ACCA of 6.06.
Great, guys, great analysis. Thanks for the tips. Good luck to everyone. And next week we have the second leg. Remember, bye-bye.